Dealers, do you notice a lot of change is going on in this industry? We talk about change a lot in this podcast because a lot of change is going on. Stay tuned for this episode where we're going to talk about more change coming down and how to keep up with it.
Welcome to Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers. Prepare to learn something new about the industry that keeps us moving.
Check out all our podcast content on our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X. Welcome back. Now let's talk about change some more. Change is a recurrent topic, and it's important. I think it's actually the most important topic that we talk about for this industry on this podcast. Margins are narrower in our industry. Inventory and our inventory pipelines are more unpredictable, and buyers are more digitally focused than ever before. There is a lot of change afoot in our industry. Yet, despite all of these challenges and these headwinds, it's important to recognize that some dealers are truly thriving in this environment, and we need to look at what's working for them in order to basically co-opt and find success in this industry. Today, we're going to talk about how these dealers that are doing really well are succeeding and how you can follow suit with them. So the new reality that we are in this industry, we are in an industry with high interest rates, and there are huge affordability challenges that our customers are facing when buying our products. They are more price sensitive than ever before, and it's squeezing our margins, it's tightening our margins. It's interesting to look, when you look back at dealers that have been around for a long time, what the margins were in the 80s and 90s versus today. I remember back in the day, the rule was for buy here, pay here. You would price that car at 2.5 times what you own it. Could you imagine what your business could do if you had those type of margins nowadays? Unfortunately, we are a long ways away from that. Used car inventory is harder to source, and sometimes our cars in the recent new segment are more expensive than what the new car prices are. And then the buying habits of our customers have changed tremendously as well. So we now have digital first buyers dominating the market. 40% of them are millennials. It's important to recognize how a huge portion of our target audience is now digital first. So let's look at what successful dealers are doing. They're starting to incorporate AI-driven lead management and digital retail tools so that they can provide an omni-channel experience. There's also service revenue expansion because customers are keeping their cars longer, and the average mileage of the car on the road is higher than ever before. And then the really astute dealers are doing what we call margin optimization across all of their revenue streams. So they are using more business intelligence to make sure that they are profitable consistently across all of their revenue streams. And then again, virtual showrooms, that digital sales experience, omni-channel engagement, the ability to meet the customer wherever they come to you, whether it's through social, whether it's through a traditional lead, whether it's through your website, or it's a walk-on, you can accommodate a customer wherever they're touching your dealership first. This is a mindset shift. The leading dealers aren't just selling cars. They are creating a sales experience pipeline for their customers. And it is multi-channel, omni-channel. It's across their entire dealership experience. If they have service as part of their dealership, they're turning those service bays into profit centers, and they are creating a storefront for their on their digital platforms as well. So how do you do this as a dealer? First, audit your entire spectrum of digital touchpoints. Are they seamless? Do your sales staff have an understanding of how they're supposed to carry a customer through from initial lead, whether it goes through a BDC or not, whether it's from social or the website or some other route, all the way through to sales, and let the customer drive whether they want to have most of the sales experience online through a digital platform, or if they want to come into the dealership and have a traditional sales experience. Make sure that you have all of that driven by policy and training, understood by your sales staff in order to deliver high customer experience quality regardless. Invest in service upsells and make sure that you have a good customer retention program. We spend a lot of money in order to acquire a customer. We want to make sure that we're not selling one car to that customer, but we're selling multiple cars over the course of our business, whether we're in business for 10, 20, 30, or 50 years. We want to hold on to that customer as long as possible. They're expensive to get a hold of. And then look at AI strategically. You want to use it basically where it's best. Stuff like using AI to prioritize leads that are most likely to convert, really getting good intel there. There's a lot of opportunity. There's some great tools out there that you need to explore. And then on the business intelligence front, internally in the back end of your operation, it's important to invest in tools that allow you to be as profitable as possible. That margin optimization we were talking about. Track cash flow on a weekly basis instead of monthly. Make sure you have the right tools to understand exactly what your positioning is on a constant basis instead of waiting for your monthly financials to come out. And then finally, we mentioned it before, but train your team in hybrid sales techniques. Digital first across all channels is absolutely crucial to success. And that is the thing that independent used car dealers tend to struggle with the most when compared against their corporate competitors. If you can master this, you're going to do really well going forward. With that, go sell some cars. We'd love to hear your comments below, so definitely post your thoughts on how you transform your dealership to be successful in the future. And with that, it's been another episode of Down Payment. Check out our podcast on all our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X.
Thank you for listening. Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers, is a production of Meta Financial Services Incorporated.